Howdy folks, and welcome back to Cyberpunk 2077, where things just got a whole lot more complicated. It turns out that Evelyn Parker had been hired to do the braindance reconnaissance on Yorinobu Arasaka's penthouse suite at the behest of the Voodoo Boys, a gang of Netrunners operating out of Pacifica, and a gang that I have no contact with, but I do know somebody in Pacifica who might be able to help.
What's shaking?
Need to make contact with the Voodoo Boys chief if you can swing it.
All right. Straight to heavy business. Now, that'd be Maman Brigitte. It'd be tough getting a word into her.
You really don't do any biz with them?
Not with the chefs, chefins, priests, and whatnot. All got dirigible-sized egos, won't talk to lowly me. But if you insist, I can ask around, try to set something up. I'll just need some details first.
Got something they want.
Truly? Want to sell something to the VDBs? Trust me, they don't want it, they don't need it. They're isolated, insulated, they got their own contracts, tech, networks. But, have it your way. Okay, I'll see what I can do and get back to you.
Mr. Hands, the fixer who operates out of Pacifica. And he's not wrong. Trying to get an in with the Voodoo Boys is extraordinarily difficult, because they just don't use outside help. They don't need to. When he said that they have their own networks, he wasn't exaggerating. And to explain exactly what it is that I mean by that, you're going to have to understand something about the state of what we know as the Internet in the world of Cyberpunk 2077. Because the Internet that we know doesn't exist. There is no global information network. There was, as far back as 2022. But all that ended as a result of a virus that was uploaded by a legendary Netrunner who went by the name of Raish Bartmoss in the year 2022. Nobody really knows exactly how it happened or why it happened, but the widely accepted theory is that a dead man switch was triggered when Raish was successfully assassinated by one of the corporations, which uploaded the data crash virus into the internet and basically crashed the internet. Bartmoss believed, with some justification, that the internet was nothing more than another tool that the corporations were using to exert their will over the world. And the data crash virus that he uploaded took out 78% of the internet. Unfortunately, not just for Bartmoss, but for everybody else, other than the corporations, the corporate response to this assault on data freedom was to rebuild their own internets, plural. There is no one global internet in the world of Cyberpunk 2077. Each city, each state, has its own internet, built by and for the corporations. It's kind of ironic, really. Bartmoss triggered the data crash virus in order to stop the corporations from exerting power over the internet, and the only direct result of that was that the only communication networks that existed afterwards were the ones that had been built by the corporations. But that huge expanse of the internet that got taken out isn't entirely dead. There's still stuff out there. Isolated data fortresses, with the barren expanse of the dead internet around them, home to some very, very nasty things. Rogue AIs, free of human control now, that have had an awful lot of time to develop their own abilities and priorities. As a response to this, the corporations funded an organisation that became known as NetWatch. NetWatch's mission was to protect the corporate and state internets from these rogue AIs. And NetWatch constructed a massive firewall known as the Black Wall around the human internet to protect it from these rogue AIs out in wild cyberspace. The Voodoo Boys are unique amongst the gangs of Night City in that they actually have their own internet. It's one of the reasons they don't need outside help. Their subnet goes by the name of Agwe, which is the name of the Loa, the Voodoo Loa who rules over the sea, fish, and aquatic plants. It's also the patron Loa of fishermen and sailors. The fact that the Voodoo Boys have their own version of the internet, their own subnet, makes NetWatch very, very nervous, because it means the Voodoo Boys can get up to things beneath the notice of NetWatch who don't have access to the Voodoo Boys subnet, Agwe. One of the few things that NetWatch knows with any certainty about the Voodoo Boys is that they are determined to uncover the secrets of the old internet. And it's commonly believed that they probe the Black Wall in hope of making contact with rogue AIs beyond the barrier. And that, and the fact that they're able to do this without any kind of monitoring because they have their own subnet, is the kind of stuff that NetWatch's nightmares are made of. Bearing all of this in mind, it probably shouldn't come as any great surprise that the Voodoo Boys just don't trust outsiders at all. They don't need outsiders, they have no reason to trust them. And yet within a day, the Pacifica fixer, Mr. Hands, got back to me with the news that the Voodoo Boys wanted to hire me for a job. Which is incredibly suspicious, but probably means that they know exactly what it is that I'm in possession of, and they still want it. I'm supposed to go into this chapel and somebody's going to make contact with me. And that, by the way, is the balcony rail that Evelyn was hiding behind when she overheard the conversation between Maman Brigitte, the Voodoo Boys' high priestess, and somebody, I presume her deputy, Tina Tune. My contact at the altar.
Bagay vin changer. Fazon la vie nou, patap jam men bagay la.
Here we go.
You are V. We have been waiting.
What gave me away? It's the hair, isn't it?
We have had eyes on you since you entered Pacifica.
Making sure I didn't get lost.
Well, we got this,
You my contact? Someone finally gonna tell me about this job?
I'm just a man in the middle. You will learn more soon.
Want to talk with Brigitte? She here somewhere?
No. Shopping center by the intersection. Go to the butcher shop there. Ask for Placide. He will tell you the details.
The Pacifica district is, well, it was supposed to be a playground for Night City's rich and famous, but then I think the Fourth Corporate War happened, and, well, investment dried up. Now Pacifica is pretty much the city's biggest slum, and it's home to a population that mostly consists of refugees from the destruction of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Pacifica is as close to completely lawless as Night City gets. The only NCPD presence you'll see here will be when they turn up in helicopter gunships.
Well, my Creole's a bit rusty.
Yo parle 1000 langues dans la cité. Nous-mêmes, nous parlons seul grain.
Shit luck, right? All those, and I don't know yours.
Comme translation, ou pas maton.
Looking for Placide.
Placide. Gardez ici là. C'est vous-même. Continuez. Placide, gardez là.
You Placide? Placide? Mm-hmm. You know, I heard a few things about you. The Voodoo Boys. Best runners in town. At least that's what they say. Though nobody really knows what you do on the net.
This is good.
I mean, bleeding edge black soft, corporate data heists, waging war on NetWatch. But no one mentions chickens. Here I thought selling domesticated fowl was still illegal. 6 years poultry supposedly had the plague. Now all of a sudden, poof, it's clean?
This not for sale. What you want?
Told me at the chapel you're the one to talk to? Mr. Hand sent me. Said you got merc work needs doing.
No here. Come with.
Pacifica, a hotbed of controversy, a city within a city.
This way.
Night City.
All that.
Welcome to Pacifica. You know Pacifica well?
Nah. You guys aren't exactly great at rolling out the welcome mat for outsiders.
Was to be its own city where suits would burn their headies. A closed circle. The cops feed their sheep, they spit the cash back out. All the toys here are grown from Corpo cash. Our interest is now in the GIM, the Grand Imperial Mall. Pacifica's biggest, ugliest temple to create, but never finished. Until last week, it was deserted, empty.
But now?
The animals crawled there, made a nest. Qui est arrivé? Deuxième.
Hey, Placide! Mwen gen sa ou te bay lo?
Ok, mwen pal vini, Peter. Greta.
Placide, petite mwen.
Où?
Ou pas de besoin. Gen lot ki gen li pi mal.
Peut-être. Mais ça, c'est pour vous. Ma bonne non pour yon réponse.
Merci.
Let's go. That's foul now.
Placide, ou gen yon minute?
Pas jodi ya.
Mais ou te di?
Ta Emily, mwen pa pliye. You deal with animal before?
Yeah, a few times. You want the animals out of the gym? Extinct? That why you hired me?
You learn everything soon.
The animals are another one of Night City's gangs, mostly into extreme bodybuilding and not too smart.
I mean, it makes no sense them being here. Middle of Pacifica, no backup, cut off. It's your turf. Hell, even badges don't patrol around here.
Uh-huh.
They're trying to provoke you? Make you do something stupid?
They do not leave GIM.
How many we talking about in there?
30, maybe more. Vinina, we talk here. You sit.
When do I see Brigitte?
You do job. That is first.
Whoa, what the hell are you doing?
Well, at least he's not likely to talk your ears bloody.
Got a feeling we're not gonna become best friends. No chemistry.
I will survive.
Evelyn Parker. Ring a bell?
Not one of us.
She did work for you once. Why not send your own goons to the gym?
It's not our way.
How's that been working out for you?
Work good, good more than bad. Your Quom shaman, it is Victor.
You two know each other.
No, no need. This hardware is shit. You should replace.
Oh, so now you're a Ripper Doc too. Is that at all relevant? Or just a cheap scare tactic?
I need you to be able. I need no. This chip. It have no signature. What is it?
Nah, unimportant. Busted anyway.
How?
Got a bullet to the brain. Hasn't worked since. That's how.
Interesting that Placide doesn't recognise the relic. Suggests I'm not talking to one of the high-ups here.
Once inside, what do I do?
The camionet. 20:35:07. 3 seconds before, poof. We try to learn where the camionet come from.
Tech looks pretty advanced. Doesn't scream meathead to me.
They watch it very close. It is important, whatever it
Placide.
is.
Batman Kelly a descend encore.
Fais-moi porte là.
Alright, going to pause things here just to let you know something that I didn't know at the time. The medic that just came out and said her heart rate is dipping. In that chair, jacked into cyberspace, but comatose and unable to jack out, trapped in some pretty deep ice, or intrusion countermeasure electronics, that is Maman Brigitte, the head honch of the Voodoo Boys. And that, and only that, is the reason why I've been hired to come in and do this job.
Animals aren't the play here, are they? They're hired muscle. Someone else needed them. Someone with a van full of Netrunner tech. And that's where I come in? To sniff out who?
Start with the camionet. Hide from all eyes. Only see the situation. You have now seen Betrayal Agwe, assemble it.
Why? What for?
You are my vessel now. To Agwe, see what you see, hear what you hear. I will guide you to him.
Another voice in your head. Just what the Ripper Doc ordered.
So, aim to keep an eye on me. Shows trust. Alright. Anything else I should know?
Find our people near Mall. They will show you how to get inside the beast.
Got it. So I do this, and you put me in front of Brigitte, right?
Yes. Soti at end of the hall. Go down, my people will let you pass. We are done.
So, the animals, a rival gang, have just turned up out of nowhere in Pacifica and taken over the Grand Imperial Mall. And the animals are not the kind of gang that would take on the Voodoo Boys in their own turf without a very, very good reason.
V.
All ears. What?
I check stability. The link on your end clear.
Seems so.
Then you also have the fact that the Voodoo Boys, for some reason, seem remarkably reluctant to do the job of going in and clearing out 30 of the animals from the mall themselves. And instead they've hired me, an outsider, to go in and do it for them. Which sounds like they're looking for deniability. Or there's somebody behind the animal incursion in the mall that the Voodoo Boys are very anxious to not piss off. Of course, you could also make the point that maybe the reason I have been hired now is because I have the relic chip in my head, which contains Johnny Silverhand's personality, something that Maman Brigitte, the chief of the Voodoo Boys, is desperate to get her hands on. But Maman Brigitte is being kept alive by a Netrunning chair's life support with a consciousness trapped in cyberspace, so she didn't hire me. And even though I didn't know that, it's fairly obvious that Placide, who did hire me, has no idea what the relic chip is and didn't recognize it or its significance.
You V?
Know the way in? Was told you would.
Yeah. Garage in the back.
But shh. Quietly, yeah?
Anything interesting happen over there?
Since we are here, all quiet.
No one in? No one out?
Well, they went out for supplies once.
So all I know for sure is that there's something going on in the Grand Imperial Mall. The animals are involved, but I'm pretty sure only peripherally. And whoever's behind them has a van full of advanced net running tech that Placide is very uncomfortable about. Uncomfortable enough to hire an outsider and not risk his own people. So I suppose it could just be a massive coincidence that somebody with a van full of advanced Netrunner tech has instigated a takeover of the Grand Imperial Mall by the animals at exactly the same time that the Voodoo Boys head honchos are all experiencing some pretty severe problems in cyberspace. Or NetWatch could be behind all of this. And that would definitely explain why Placide, who doesn't know about the relic chip, would be desperate enough to use an outsider. Placide wants me to go in quietly, unobserved. He's picked the wrong guy for that, hasn't he? Anyway, I've actually played through this game 3 times with different endings each time and multiple different ways of achieving what usually amounts to the same objectives, although not always. This is from my first playthrough, where I at least attempted to do things the way Placide wanted me to, but it is extremely difficult to do a stealth playthrough of this Grand Imperial Mall section of the game. Not impossible, but it's certainly a lot more simple to take a slightly more direct approach. I did go at it 3 different ways, so here on my first playthrough I attempted to do it as stealthily as possible. Emphasis on the word attempted. But as soon as the bodies started piling up, I gave up and I just started shooting everything. And that did work, and I'm sure it will work if you do it this way too. On my second playthrough, forewarned of just how difficult it was to try to do a stealth approach to this particular section of the game, I didn't even try. But on my second playthrough I was running a full Netrunner build. Let me show you just how absurdly overpowered a full Netrunner build can be in this game. So here we go. Female character this time, with a corporate background. Not that that really makes any difference as far as this part of the game is concerned. But what does make a difference is the fact that my weapon skills are virtually non-existent. But what I do have is a very expensive cyber deck and a whole bunch of quick hacks. I'm going to start off with the breach protocol, which is available to everybody, and this is going to make any turrets friendly. It's going to reduce the resistances of any enemies, it's going to deactivate any cameras, and it's going to reduce the cost of my next couple of quick hacks by 3 RAM, which means my contagion quick hack only costs 1 RAM. And it's already off cooldown, so I can use it again instantly. The Contagion Quick Hack is a hack that targets your enemy's biological implants and forces them to basically produce poison. What it also does, however, is it basically turns... I'm trying to think of the right way to explain this. It turns your victim into a Wi-Fi hotspot and broadcasts that contagion signal to anybody else on the same network as them. So basically it's a poison attack that chains between enemies. So you only have to see one of them and you can infect him and everybody that he's connected to with a virus attack that incapacitates them all in seconds. So think about that. You only have to see one of them to take all of them out, and if you're wondering why I'm going around shooting them all in the head, it's because Contagion is a non-lethal attack, so it has only incapacitated them, and, well, I'm not only collecting quick hack experience by doing this, I'm also picking up pistol experience.
Okay.
But that's important that it's a non-lethal attack, because it means it's perfect for taking out entire buildings full of enemies that you're not supposed to kill. And you don't even have to see most of them in order to do it. There are different versions of the quick hacks, different quality levels. So the legendary versions of these quick hacks usually come with something very special. They're called ultimate quick hacks. The ping quick hack, for example, the turret up there, I'll just I'll breach it first because we're probably looking at a different network, and this will make the turret friendly. Okay, 55 E9 1C. Can I get the other one? Mass vulnerability? I'd have to backtrack a little. There we go, 7A 55 55. Right. Alright, so that's the network breached. Could turn the turret on, I suppose, but I don't really need to, because I'm going to use the legendary version of the ping. Now the ping does exactly what you'd expect it to. It reveals the location of everything connected to that network. But with the legendary version of the ping quick hack, it doesn't just show you everybody that's connected to the object that you've just pinged. It also allows you to target them through solid objects. So I don't even need to see them to infect an entire room with the contagion quick hack. So not only am I picking up quick hacking experience for doing this, this counts as a stealth attack. So I'm also picking up stealth experience. There are other very nice quick hacks that you can use. The cyber psychosis one in particular is kind of funny. As the name would suggest, it turns whoever you infect with it into a cyber psycho, and they go berserk and start attacking their allies or anybody near them. If there's nobody near them for them to attack, they turn their cyber psychosis on themselves and commit suicide. Or, if there's a target that you absolutely definitely have to take alive, and quickly, you hit them with the system reset quick hack, which basically turns them off. It's an instant incapacitation. Doesn't matter how big they are, how tough they are, how much health they have, what they're armed with, it just turns them off. It's perfect for dealing with cyber psychos. As you can see, a Netrunner build focused around the contagion quick hack is pretty bloody overpowered. But this is a single player game, so it doesn't matter. However, I have heard rumours that CDPR are thinking of turning Cyberpunk into an online game in the same way that Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption 2 are. If that's the case, I really think they need to look at rebalancing some of the skill trees. Anyway, cut to the chase. One way or another, you take care of the animals in the mall. Then you make your way to the van that contains all of that fancy Netrunner tech.
Well, I got you here. Mind telling me what we're looking at?
Data flow map of Pacifica. They hunt Agwe.
Who is they?
NetWatch. They always out to fuck us.
Okay, so what's on me to do?
You must reach the agent. Easy now to find him. Look at the map. He is in cinema.
Step away now. This isn't your fight.
Ned!
What? Placide, what?
Now, God. Pushed out. The runner know you are here. Hunt him.
Okay, so what do I do once I find him?
I will tell you. Invade him. We need access to their data. Clear? You must first.
Placide?
The NetWatch agent has just cut my connection to Placide. And it's when you confront this NetWatch agent that you're going to have to make a decision that's going to have some fairly significant consequences. Now, here in my first playthrough, I was still very much playing according to the philosophy of once I've been bought, I stay bought. If I've been hired to do a job, then that is exactly what I'll do. And that's all good and noble. But it only really works if the people who've hired you to do that job, in this case Placide and the Voodoo Boys, are playing straight with you in the first place. So I've been sent in here to kill the NetWatch agent. That's what I've been hired to do, and that's exactly what I do.
Hey, Link was dead. Situation under control?
Yep, jacking into our friend now.
And now with access to the data in NetWatch agent Mosley's head, the Voodoo Boys are flatlining NetWatch agents all across continental America. Job done, back to Placide for tea and medals. Or not. The second I got that information, I flatlined. Fortunately, the relic chip kept me alive and rebooted my system. But it's pretty suspicious that the second I was no longer of any use to Placide, somebody tried to take me out, and it certainly wasn't the dead NetWatch agent.
Hey V, you alright?
Oh, what happened?
What do you think? Voodoo's were blowing smoke. You got duped. Made you their goddamn kamikaze drone. Guess that's your reward for lending him a hand.
Could have been NetWatch to flatline me. VDBs might not even know I survived.
Right, then Placide's face ought to light up like a Christmas tree when you show up alive. Come on, let's head to Batty's and get this shit settled for good. Grumpy motherfucker. Hope he likes surprises.
And sure enough, the Voodoo Boy sentries outside are extremely surprised to see my face.
Les vivants! You wish to talk to Placide? Is that what you want? Because I can take you.
I'll find him.
Sure. Yes.
And Placide himself isn't exactly overjoyed to see me walking and talking either. Funny that.
I thought you dead.
Well, that was your plan, wasn't it? I outlive your need for me, you get me out of the picture. Flatline.
No, you are confused. Mosley messed with your head.
Fuck Mosley. Got eyes I can see. I'm right, aren't I?
We lose the link. That was not our plan.
Saw you zeroing agent tags. Don't tell me you didn't know what was going on. Don't tell me I didn't see what I saw.
You walk into war zone. You got hit. It is that simple. I had to free my people. They are most important to me. We tried to save you, but Mosley, he was stronger than we think.
Your people? Who?
Brigitte and others. NetWatch hold her frozen in ice. So you see, this whole rotten job was in your interest. It was the only way you could talk with Brigitte.
Jesus. Might have been good to know that before you threw me into the fucking fire.
Assez. We must head under.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there, and we're going to rewind and go back to the confrontation with NetWatch agent Mosley. This time, we're going to play things a little differently. This time, we'll give him a chance to talk before we dance to Placide's tune.
Whoa, hey, easy.
What did you do?
Well, now we can talk in private. Just severed the connection to the rest of Pacifica. Gives us a little time. Let's go.
All right, then let's hear it.
Had a Spectre on you, didn't you? Saw and heard all you did. You followed his orders. No idea what the Voodoo Boys are paying you, but our pockets are deeper.
Not interested. Not a money job for me. Just need an in with my mom Brigitte, Voodoo Chefin.
Brigitte and her lapdog T. Neptune have been frozen several days now, ever since we shrouded their subnet with ice.
And you? Well, you were sent here to free them. Do you know why they didn't tell you everything? 'Cause you're a Ranyan. That's what they call outsiders brought in for special jobs, floor rags. When you're no longer needed, they chuck you. A fate for all Ranyans.
Got anything to back that claim? But the Voodoos want to set me up.
Wanna? They did it already. Soon as you handed over your link, slipped in the Spectre antivirus.
Talking as if he was there. He's working you. So obvious it hurts.
Asked for proof. Besides, I'd know.
That's so? Then please take a look. Run a system diagnostic.
Fine. And? Nothing out of place. No trace of...
Do it again. Then cross-check the result against the first.
Identical, right? Mm-hmm. 'Cause it's not a real scan, it's a copy.
What's your beef with the Voodoos?
Any idea how many attacks from behind the Black Wall we neutralized last year?
Want me to guess?
So you don't know? No one in Night City knows, outside of us. And no one wants to know. People imagine it as a great border wall, a one-time solution to protect humanity forever. Whereas, it's more like a torn-open trash bag taped over a busted window. And the Voodoo Boys will not stop poking holes in the fucking thing.
The data collection. Why would you target Pacifica's runners?
That's the job.
This is about Rezo Agwe, isn't it? Can't have an indie net where you aren't welcome to protect and serve, huh?
No such thing as an independent net. If the Voodoo Boys breach the Black Wall, we'll all be fucked one way or the other.
Alright. What are you offering?
A compromise. I'll fish the voodoo virus out of your system. And I'll release both Brigitte and Team Neptune. They'll wake up like nothing ever happened. Not to worry. And all you gotta do is let us walk. With our data. Thoughts? Clock's flipping digits.
Okay, do it.
I knew we'd have a meeting of the minds.
Can't believe you're falling for this shit.
Oh, almost forgot. Mercenary's leaving. She's joined the team, so be nice. Don't want any problems. Good luck. Got a feeling we'll be seeing each other.
Oh, Placide is gonna be pissed.
So he was behind this. Not altogether surprising, I suppose. And none too subtle.
You guys know each other? Runner World's a small one, I guess.
Well, we're doing whatever we can to make it even smaller.
And now you have an altogether different confrontation with Placide.
What the fuck you doing the GIM? You were to hack the agent, not cut deal with him.
Every merc you hire, try to set him up?
Kulef-san, you believe that fascist? What he say? You say, or I open you. See with my own eye what won't crawl the bill.
I fucking dare you.
I say, we must head under.
Maman Brigitte, back and in the flesh. One way or another, I'm going to get that conversation with her. Whether or not I'm going to enjoy that conversation, of course, is an entirely different matter, and that will be coming up in the next episode. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.